Divrei-Hayamim Bet. Chapter 26. Meanwhile, all the people of Yehuda had taken Uziyahu at the age of 16 and made him king in place of his father, Amaziyahu. He recovered Elot for Yehuda and rebuilt it. It was after that the king, Amaziyahu, slept with his ancestors. Uziyahu was 16 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 52 years in Yerushalayim. His mother's name was Yehoyahu, from Yerushalayim. He did what was right from Adonai's perspective, following the example of everything his father Amaziah had done. He consulted God during the lifetime of Zechariah, who understood visions of God, and as long as he consulted Adonai, God gave him success. He went out to fight the Philistine, breaking down the walls of Gat, Yavna, and Ashdod, and he built cities in the area of Ashdod and among the Philistine. God helped him against the Philistine, against the Arabs living in Gur-Baal, and against the Meunim. The Ammonim brought tribute to Uziyahu, and his fame spread abroad as far as the Egyptian frontier, since he kept growing stronger. Uziyahu built towers in Yerushalayim at the corner gate, at the valley gate, and at the angle, and fortified them. He built towers in the desert and dug many cisterns, because he had much livestock. Likewise in the Shephelah and the coastal plain. He had farmers and vineyard workers in the hills and in the fertile lands, because he loved the soil. Uziyahu had a standing army of fit soldiers divided into units according to the census taken by the secretary, Yehiel, and the officer, Maaseiah, under the direction of Hananiah, one of the king's officials. The total number of clan heads over these strong, brave men was 2,600. They directed a trained army of 307,500 fighting men, a strong force supporting the king in war against the enemy. Uziyahu equipped them, the whole army, with shields, spears, helmets, armor, bows, and sling stones. In Yerushalayim he built devices designed by experts for the towers and angles, from which to shoot arrows and lob large stones. His fame spread far and wide, for he was miraculously helped, until he became strong. But when he was strong, he became arrogant, which caused him to become corrupt, so that he sinned against Adonai his God by going into the temple of Adonai to burn incense on the incense altar. Azariahu the Kohen went in after him, and with him were 80 of Adonai's cohanim, brave men. They stood up to Uziyahu the king. They told him, "It isn't your job, Uziyahu, to burn incense to Adonai. The job of burning incense belongs to the cohanim, the descendants of Aaron, who have been consecrated. Get out of the sanctuary. You have trespassed, and Adonai, God, will not honor you for this." This made Uziyahu angry as he stood there with a censer in his hand, ready to burn incense, and in his anger at the cohanim, tzara'at broke out on his forehead. Right in front of the cohanim in the house of Adonai, beside the altar for incense. Azariahu, the chief Kohen, and all the cohanim stared at him. There he was, with tzara'at on his forehead. Quickly they threw him out of there. And indeed, he himself hurried to get out, because Adonai had struck him. Uziyahu the king had tzara'at until his dying day. He lived in a separate house because he had tzara'at, and was not allowed into the house of Adonai. Meanwhile, Yotam, the king's son, ran the king's household, and was regent over the people of the land. Other activities of Uziyahu from beginning to end were recorded by Yeshayahu, the prophet, the son of Amos. So Uziyahu slept with his ancestors, and they buried him with his ancestors in the graveyard belonging to the kings, because they said, "He had tzara'at." Then Yotam his son took his place as king.